So sometimes we just want to draw on our screen. This is not the way to do it. Do not use these on your screens. Please promise me that, if nothing else tonight. But I do have a solution for you. So just some quick examples. Maybe you're in a meeting with friends, meeting with your team, you're hanging out with your friends or family and you're feeling like a little goofy maybe. Maybe you're teaching, right? And you want to be able to point things out on the screen. Maybe you're working with tech support, you want to show them a problem. Like once you start using a tool like this, the possibilities are almost endless. So hang on, and I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite tools that I really don't talk about a lot, which is called Epic Pen. And I apologize to Epic Pen because I should be telling more people about them. So let's get the party started. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for cruising by. I have to throw this up here right away because this is exactly right. Friends don't let friends use markers on their screen. So, yes, we do need to draw on our screen sometimes. And it's not the kind of thing that is super easy to do, or is it? It actually is. It's just a matter of having the right tool. It's like anything else, right? Having the right tool makes the job so much easier. Hey, Scully, good to see you. Callie, thank you for coming by. Jason is always there with the good comments. So, let's talk about, first of all, why you might want to do this, right? So maybe, you're in a meeting, right? And you and your team are discussing something and you need to show them something, on the document or the plan that you're working on, whatever it is. There's always that time when you're like instinctively reach for something because you want to draw, right? Especially in this world where we're doing everything remote. But even without, it's just if you're online with a meeting, you're going to want to do this kind of thing. And while some of the meeting tools do have this built in, it's just so much easier to have one tool that works all the time, right? Because then you don't have to think about, well, where is it in this one? We make life easier this way. Or, let's say maybe you're working with, support and, they're looking at your screen while you're looking at your screen, you're trying to explain a problem. You can actually point them to things and show them things. You're working with your team, maybe. You want to make some changes to your socials or to your website and just afraid people are not getting it, right? Or you just think you can communicate faster if you could just scribble and draw. This tool makes this so easy that you're going to want to use it all the time. And there's no reason not to. So it's called Epic Pen. I can show you the website, if I can remember which button to push, okay? And the nice thing about this solution that I'm going to show you is that it works for Mac and PC. You know how I am. You've all heard my rants about I just won't support anybody who puts out a tool that's only good for one side if I can possibly help it. So this is going to work on both sides. There is one caveat. At the point where I'm recording this, you can only use the free version on Mac. Is that really a bad thing? Not really. But if you really, really wanted the pro version, then you do need to be using Windows. I'm sure they're working on that. I'm sure that's going to change. But that's the way it is right now. So let me show you what this looks like in use. Let me just switch over here. Okay, and let's switch to this one. There we go. Yes, okay. So let's just say, you were running Canva, right? And you're meeting with your team and you're like, I really, really, really want to make some changes here. So with this, normally maybe you'd have to take a screen capture or you'd have to jerk around to solve the problem. But once you have a tool like this, you can just come in and say, okay, well, I want to make these changes and I can pick my color. You know what? I need to not be on the screen to show you this one. Okay, so this is the tool over here on the left side here. I can move it around so you can see it. No, see, when I have multiple computers running, I keep using the wrong devices. So this is the controller for the app, right? And you can put it wherever you want out of the way. For me right now, this is working over here. So I wanted to come in here and I want to talk to the team about making changes. Down here, you can change the color. So let's say that I decided that, I didn't like this because it's only using an initial cap on one word, and I really wanted this to also be capitalized, right? Or let's say that I wanted to move these two things, right? So I want this and this to get changed. And, while we're talking about it, I don't really like this icon. I want to change that. And maybe I don't want this here. You see what I'm saying? Just by talking about it, I can just move around and do whatever I want. I can put a big old happy face on here if I really want to. And we're good to go. And once you're done, you can actually come over here and you can take a screenshot of what you've done if you want to save it for later, right? To share with them or send it to the people who, weren't there for the meeting. And it's saving it to your clipboard. You can then paste it into a email, or you could do anything you want with it. You could put it in an editor tool if you want to, whatever it is that you feel the need to do. I'm going to come back down here. So then when you're done, or if you wanted to do another set, you just come here and you hit clear and it goes away. And if you don't want to be using this, you can hit this, and now, your mouse is working normal and you're good to go. So here's the other thing, right? So we said no to this, right? And that's good. We're not using these. Certainly you can use it with a stylus. We all know I love my stylus, right? So I'm always about the stylus. However, you can do this with the touchpad on your laptop or your desktop. You can do it with your mouse. If it's a touch screen, you can do it with your finger. So here, I'm going to open this up again. And I'm going to scribble with my finger. Here we go. This is what I want. And let's pick the blue again, right? So I can come in here and I can scribble with my finger. So kind of like finger painting. You can do whatever you want. Now, those of you who are fellow sports fans out there, this may be ringing a bell, right? This is sort of what they do with the Telestrator, except the Telestrator is a super expensive tool. I mean, mega, right? And this, however, is not, because this you can download for free from Epic Pen. And by the way, this is not sponsored. Like, I'm not getting anything for this. This is another case where I'm just telling you about my favorite tools. So it's free. They don't hawk you. You can use it for free forever, and they're not ever going to pester you about it. However, if you do want to have the extra couple of features that they offer, there is a paid version, which is $25. However, and I wasn't able to make use of this because I didn't know about this until literally 5 minutes before the show started. They're actually having a sale right now. So if you, I have it in the descriptions, so if you do go to buy the Pro version, you can get 30% off. I just want to make sure I say this right. Okay, so it's a 30% discount, and the code is SUN30. So here's another way that you could use this. Let me clear this off. Okay, so I could just, here, let's make this point really clear. One sec, I'm sorry, I needed to switch and I forgot to switch. So SUN30 will get you 30% off. It's a one-time purchase. It's not a subscription, which, I've also ranted about that, so I'll spare you. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. That was just me. I had too many windows open because I want to show you something else in a second. But first, let's do this. Okay, so we go here. Let's do it this way. Okay, so the code is, I should take that off. SUN30. I don't draw very well with my finger, but that's the code. So there you go. There's another use for it. You can quickly put information out there. Okay, so that said, that's for the Pro version. Now, you don't have to get the Pro version. This is fully functional without it. Now, I do actually I have it running Pro on here, but the things that you get with the Pro version are the ability to draw rectangles, circles, that kind of stuff, to use the text tool, the lines and arrows, and the whiteboard and the blackboard options. So those are these thingies here. So like the line, these things here. The arrows. Here, let's change the color because, if you have multiple colors. Whoops, I did not change it to that. Oh, wait, that's the undo. Sorry. It's the arrows are here. Arrows are here. Okay. That's our code. Now, I did this way for a reason, because when I showed this to a friend of mine in the beginning, they're like, well, that's great, but suppose, I didn't want to do it in the browser. I'm like, no, you weren't listening. This is running on Windows, in my case. It'll also run on your Mac. So it literally can draw on your screen. It can draw on whatever app you're using. So again, let's go in here and let's clean this up. And let's open up, let's say that, you're teaching somebody how to use Acrobat. Right? So you could come in here and you could turn it on and you could talk through, or if you just needed to show somebody where a feature was, it's like, oh, okay, well, here, this is where the tools are. And if you want to just scribble, you know, you can come over here and you can say, okay, you know, these are your recents and this is what it was opened. So this will literally work with anything you can see on your computer screen, which is what I think makes this super helpful, super easy to use. And actually, it's kind of fun. I mean, it really is. And like I said, so I do have the Pro, but you could absolutely survive without the Pro version. I did in the beginning when I was playing with this. So, like, it does have its purposes. It is adding, a little bit of functionality, and for $25 for anything, for me wasn't a big problem. Your mileage may vary. But you can absolutely use this without it and not have any problems. All right, so brain. Hey Rose, how you doing? So this is, I can very easily bring you up to speed here. This is called Epic Pen. So it's epic-pen.com. I knew that was coming. It just didn't happen fast enough. Okay. Yeah, so it's Epic Pen. And I just lost my screen. Why did I just lose my screen? Because that's life. Okay, I think you guys can still see me. Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, so it's Epic-Pen. The link is in the description. And it works on Mac and it works on PC. And it really is just that easy. It's you load it, and actually we can actually let's do that. Let's do, here we go. Okay, now this is, don't do this at home, folks. Okay, so here's the information. Right, so basic, you get the basics, right? You can do the screen. I'm surprised, to be honest, that they included the screen capture tool for free, but that was nice of them. So you get 16 colors, not the 24. And you get the basics. You don't get the lines, you don't get the tool, the text tool, you don't get the arrows, you don't get the whiteboard or the whiteboard / blackboard is just what color background it is. That's the only difference between the two of those. Or you can go ahead and upgrade if you're on a PC. Right now, you can only do the free version on the Mac. So you know what? Let's just rock and roll. Let's just do this. Okay? So you click on that to download. We'll actually install it live because I haven't had enough things blow up on me today. Let's do a live install. Oh, sometimes life just gets to that point and you're like, well, why not? Okay, so let me go full screen here so you can actually see everything that I'm doing. Hello, why did you not? Okay, there we go. All right, so it's down here in the bottom, so I'm going to click this. It's going to open up. Okay, obviously I'm on a Windows machine, so that's why we're seeing that example, but, it's pretty much the same process on a Mac. I'm going to say run. I'm going to tell it yes, which is on a different screen, but that's the usual. All right, let me bring this. I'll get this out of the way for the moment. Yes, I need English because sadly that's the only language I can really process in. You can choose whether or not, what happened to my capture? Oh shoot, it's not showing the install screens. Why is it not? It should. Okay, my apologies. I don't know why that's not. Let me try refreshing. I've done this before and it has worked. Why is it not working now? Because I told you, right? When you do a live install, you're pretty much risking it all. Okay, well, all right. So hopefully let me just accept. I don't know why it's not sharing now, but that's because I'm doing a live install and you probably shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Well, that's disappointing. You know what? I'll do a video for that and I'll upload it instead of trying to do it live. How about that? Okay, so evidently my screen, okay. Is that the cam link failing me? That would make me sad. No, that's not the cam link because that's sorry, I'm troubleshooting live here now. That is actually my internal capture card, which should not be failing me. Okay, there we go. So after you install it, you get this little menu thing here. Now, sorry, would help if I would show you that now. See, this is why you don't do this live. All right, so after you install, then you're going to get this little thing. Now, this may not show. Sometimes it doesn't pop up all the time. I've noticed when I install it on different systems. So if that's the case, then you need to go down on Windows, down to the bottom right. and click on the little up icon, and I'll show you all the things that are currently running on the system. And if you click on the icon for this app, which looks like the little thing here, and then click on it once and click on it twice, then that usually brings up the this little tool for you. Okay. So once you've got this, actually we can go back to this. So once you've got this, you click on the little pen thing, and then you can drag it wherever you want. So this is now the free version, right? So I'm not going to have access to all of the extra stuff, and if I click on it, it's going to try to make me buy it, okay, which is fine. This will do the erase. So here, let's just do a little drawing here, right? We're just scribbling. And then if I wanted to erase, I could do that instead of doing, so here, let's do a couple. We'll do this. When I do this usually, yeah, so you can choose to erase just one thing, or you can right, so that's going to take the last thing away that you did using the eraser, and then if you use the trash can, that's going to take everything away for you. If you don't want the tool to show, you just do this, and then it goes back to the normal cursor. This is the whiteboard, which doesn't work here. I can show you on that one. This is just to bring up the screen capture tool, and then you can choose to, would help if I did this someplace you could see it. Let me move this. Okay, so here if I do scribble, and then I do this capture, and then I say I want to save this capture because this is the best thing ever. Really need to stop doing things so big. One more time. There we go. All right, that'll stay up here. So down here in the bottom right, when you do the screen capture, you can choose to save it, put it on the clipboard, or if you change your mind, you can just say, yeah, go away. Super easy. The settings are all in here, so you've got your usual about screen. If you do want to go pro, you can come in here, and when you buy it, you get a code, and you just pop it in here and save it, and that's how you activate it. Your basic settings, all that usual stuff. So all that stuff is here. And that is really it. I mean, it really is that simple and yet that amazing. Whee! I'm a terrible artist. That is a terrible, but what the heck? It does the job. That's the whole thing for me, is just that it works, and this is what I mean, if you just want to be goofy, you can. It's all good. I used to entertain my nieces with this because they thought it was magic that I could draw on the screen. And so when we were doing Zoom calls and that kind of stuff, what I would do when we were feeling silly is, I would have them up. So I would bring them up, on the screen share, and then I would draw hats on them and mustaches and stuff, and it made them giggle. And you know what? Sometimes that's just what you need to do. But it's super helpful when for what I do with the teaching, I can do all this kind of stuff with it. Now, yes, I can add that kind of stuff in post-production, right? Using Camtasia, I can add those kind of things. Sometimes it's just easier. It's also super handy when I'm talking with somebody, like if I'm doing, troubleshooting with a client, or I'm teaching a client how to do something, or just my friends and family, sometimes it just helps to focus them rather than, having to verbally explain, okay, go up to the top, go 3 over, I can just draw the arrow and say go here, and it communicates so much faster, it moves things along much faster, and it just makes things clearer while also making them kind of fun. So this is not a save the world kind of tool by any means, but it is the kind of tool that can really simplify things and make things easy for you, and it's just freaking fun also. So let me bring this up again so you can see one. See what's on, what it offers, and all that kind of stuff, while I keep babbling about it. But it simplifies things, and for me, anything that I can find, any kind of tool like this that makes it easier for me to do my job, to communicate with people, for me that's just a win. And the fact that they make so much functionality free, like for me, this is right up there with Canva. I mean, obviously Canva does a ton of stuff. Like this is very much a single purpose tool, right? You buy this or install this. Okay, you install this and you use it to draw on your screen. Okay, that's what it does. Canva does everything plus, makes dinner practically these days. But for me, it's still right up there with it because for free, you get so much power out of it. For free, you can do pretty much everything you need to do. The things that you get for Pro are definitely in the nice to have category. It won't stop you at all from achieving whatever your goal is by using this, by sticking to the free. So there is that. Okay, good. I'll say I'm glad other people are excited about this, because this is the kind of tool that, it's not something that you would necessarily go search out. But once you know about it, basically everybody I show this to is like, I must have. And it ends up all over the place. You are very welcome, Rose. I'm happy. If you have any questions, let me know. I can demo stuff for you. Yes, you're right. If it wasn't for trimming, this would be a whole different game. But yeah, no, that's the first time in all the time I've had this set up that the black capture stopped grabbing. I'll have to go and figure out why that happened, because, I can't leave something alone. If there's something went wrong, I have to figure it out. That's just the way my brain works. It actually won't let me not do it, because it'll keep pestering me. And it should go with art lessons. The thing is, I have taken art lessons. So this is why when people are like, I can't learn this kind of stuff, I am sympathetic. I do believe that with technology, you can get to a certain level of comfort with it. But I have taken multiple art courses, and I've gotten pretty good with faking it if I'm using a tool. I don't use Adobe anymore. I use the Affinity tools. But if you give me a tool that's got, like with this, like if it's got the circles and the squares and the lines, I can pretty much pull off, something that'll communicate something. But going freehand, I'm just hopeless. Maybe, for when the kids were young, I could get away with drawing a house and a cat and then stick people. That was about the level I could get to. But that's the way it goes, right? We can't all do everything. Life would be boring, and what's the fun in that? So yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so I don't know if there's anything specific else that I could show you on this, or if you have any questions, but I just kind of wanted to put this out there because it's a handy tool and it's very reasonable. As I said, the link is in the description. This is not a promotion. This is not an affiliate thing. I don't get anything for this other than the enjoyment of letting you know about another cool tool that's out there. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to just wrap this up, and this is going to be a nice short one. And I'll maybe go back and redo the install so that I can walk people through that, because that's probably something to have handy. That is the one thing about this that I do see people struggle with a little bit, is the actual install is fine. You don't have any problems with that. It's your basic Windows or Mac install, but the activation of the actual tool, oops, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do, make that go away. The actual getting the tool up the first time can be a little disconcerting for people, but like I said, it's there. You just need to, in Mac, you would just need to go in and click on the app. In Windows, I just usually go down to the bottom corner and click on the little, up icon, and it looks like the little pen icon here. So this little, okay, so this little part up here, that's what the icon looks like, and I find if I just click on it twice, then it's good to go, and then after that you're good. Also, you don't have to have it set up so that it installs when you boot your machine. That's a toggle, so you can, during the install, you can turn that off, or if later on you change your mind about it, you can just go into settings, which I showed you, and you can go and you can turn that on or off in there, because you don't necessarily need it running all the time, but the nice thing is it's quick to turn on when you do decide that you need it. Okay, well, thank you, Callie. I'm glad everybody else enjoyed it too. It's definitely one of those ones that just makes me happy. It makes life easier. Now, okay, full disclosure, I should mention before I wrap this up for good, is that yes, there are ones, which I did kind of touch on in the beginning. There are ones that are available in tools, right? So if you're using the Zoom It application, which comes from Microsoft, that will do a lot of this. It's a little bit wonky, and I stopped using it because it's a bit of a resource hog, but it's another option. If you're in WebEx, if you're in pretty much most of the actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Zoom doesn't have this, does it, Callie? But things like WebEx, like the corporate kind of meeting tools, those all have it. There's also something for Windows users. If you you can turn on Windows Ink Workspace, even if you don't have, even if you're not I should probably show you this. Let me bring this up. So it's Windows Ink Space. You can turn this on in your Windows settings, even if you're not using a tablet. And it does come with something which, no, just stop asking me for surveys. They do these kinds of things. The problem I have with this one, okay, yeah, so it's the closest thing that this offers is called Snip and Sketch. The problem I have with this one is it's not totally live like this tool is, right? I can draw on everything on the screen whenever I want to. With the Windows ink tool, you have to screen cap whatever is on the screen, and then you can draw on top of that. Better than nothing, absolutely, but it's not as elegant a solution. It's not as fluid. So there's that. But they also do offer a whiteboard if you want to do that. So that would be another option as well. OBS users, if you're in the screen recorder, there is a drawing type tool for that also works in whatever you're showing through OBS. If you guys don't know what OBS is, don't stress. You don't have to know. I just wanted to point out that there are a couple of other different options, and that's it. So just remember, right now, I'm sure this is not going to last forever because the code is Sun, but they are having a summer sale. So if you're watching this fairly close to when I'm recording it, and you decide that you do want the Pro version, you can get 30% off. It says one-time purchase, no subscription stuff here, and the code is Sun, S-U-N, and the number 30, no spaces. And then you get the extra discount on it, which I didn't get, but you know what? I'm not even going to hawk about it because I am perfectly happy. Support your devs is a big thing for me. So it's totally good that I paid full price. I'm not going to stress about it. I'll maybe now think about installing Pro on another system, Yeah, right? As I was talking about that, I'm like, Zoom doesn't have this and it totally should. And so that's something else that we're going to have to pester them about. All right, everybody. That is what I have for you. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I am here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I always bring a topic. You are always welcome to come and join live if you can and ask questions. If you have questions that are off topic, that's always fine too. We don't stress about that kind of stuff here. If you ever need to reach out, if you have an idea for a show, if you want more information about this kind of stuff, you can reach out to me here, yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. You can let me know what your question is, what your idea for a show is, whatever. One thing I do ask is that if you have a problem that you need a fast answer on, let me know that in the form, and then let me know how to get back in touch with you so that I can get you the answer. Okay? All right. Aw, thanks, Callie. You are so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. Go play with the tool. The link is in all the descriptions, but it's epic-pen.com. I'm double checking myself now because it's been that kind of day. Yes, it is .com. Go play with it. See what you think about it. One other quick bonus tip. While it's not technically, a mobile tool, you could bring your mobile device into your laptop or your desktop, and then you could draw on that too. So the opportunities are all there for you. Go enjoy, go make faces on people, and I will see you next week. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.